effect of the social media has done a lot of good, not only people think Islam is good because it's easier work to disseminate information to the large community in the world. So the effect, once it provides me outreach to expose my products to the world, two, it makes me to educate society or public easily. Three, it expose my activities, public crime.
Information and communication technology, what we usually refer to as the computer age, has done many wonders to the sustenance of livelihood. Part of these wonders is the advent of social media. Social media has affected activities of human beings and organizations, and this video will identify some ways social media affects journalism practice in our environment. I am Idu Ali Kochanya, and you are on DSG TV.
There have been varieties of definition for social media, one of which is social media is an internet-based and mobile services which allow users to participate in online exchanges, contribute user-generated content, or join online communities. Social media have been a good source of news item for journalists. They save him the stress of having to be physically present at the scene of happening. Journalists are assisted in the role of gathering news with social media. Social media make timeliness possible for journalists, since getting the news is just a click of the mouse.
So what are the positive and negative effects of social media on journalism nowadays?
Okay, first of all, my name is Solomon Ayado. I am the editor of the Voice newspaper, and I'm also the senior special assistant to the Governor on Information. Thank you very much for your question. Okay, first of all, let me take on the positive aspect of it. First one is speed in circulation of information. What do I mean by that? Before the advent of social media, the speed at which news used to fly was not the way it is today. What is obtainable today is that more than 85% of the general population at least are internet compliant. They have Android phones at least that can hook up to internet. So by use of Facebook, Twitter, and the rest of them, people access them regularly, and so it does not allow the radio station to gather news and wait till the next day, or the newspaper to gather news and wait till the next day before it goes to give it to the public. As it is being said, as the news is being done, it is being carried out. Positively, that's one of the major effects it has brought. And then, secondly, it has saved cost. Before, people used to, for newspaper, for example, people used to buy newspapers. These days, they don't buy to keep the bunch in the house. You can just go to your phone and then get all the websites of the newspapers you can find. And several other. But negatively, one of the major negative effects of social media these days is fake news. Because with the advent of social media, there is no longer censorship where news is being regulated. For example, you can be a news person yourself. You can decide to crop or carve any story at all and then post it on social media and allow it to go. Only for after some hours or minutes after for us to come to find that news was actually not true. So basically, the negative effects, that is it basically. There are so many other ones, but the ones that are so much affected the newspaper is that of fake news. But sometimes we as a newspaper we also depend on the social media to gather news. And in so many occasions we have picked news from the social media only for us to use them and later realize that those stories were actually false. And it leaves us with the responsibility to retract such stories, which brings discredit sometimes to the reputation of that media organization.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, sir. Do you think social media affect the traffic of media regulation?
No, definitely it does. Definitely it does. Like I said earlier, where the advent of social media has made everybody to be quickly abreast of what's happening around the world. It does here as well, because people are hooked up to social media. Like on Facebook. Almost everybody is on Facebook, but not everybody accesses websites of reputable media newspaper organizations. Do you understand? And so it does that. It does affect the traffic. If we have about, for example, we have a website which we have barely like 5,000 subscribers, but our Facebook page has more than 10,000. And so from that comparison, it tells you clearly that it affects it. The number of people that subscribe to social media, most times do not subscribe to the real people.
Okay, sir, what are the positive and negative effects of social media on journalism nowadays?
The arrival of social media has a lot of implications. And it is also very good that we ask this question at this moment of time. Social media has created a very important platform as long as journalism is concerned, not just in Nigeria but all over. It's a platform that many people will use these days. That is why we have what we call citizen journalism. It's a platform where people are free to express themselves. It's a platform where everybody is free, the freedom of expression is granted, it's allowed, and it's guaranteed too. But the negative consequences is that lack of verifying information has made it so dangerous for you as a journalist to rely on social media, because the tactics, the rigors of investigation and confirmation of stories are not duly followed. So these are the negative consequences, and that is why you see, as journalists, you don't solely rely on information from social media except you verify them.
Viewers, we are now at Catholic Star newspaper to run some interviews, so don't go nowhere as the interview continues. I remain Idu Alice Ochanya. Sir, please, can you tell us your name?
Okay, my name is Emmanuel. I'm a journalist.
Thank you. Okay, the question we have for you. Please, sir, what are the positive and negative effects of social media on journalism now?
Well, if you ask me the positive and negative of social media are very enormous. First, I will begin with the positive. Social media has actually enhanced the practice of journalism in the sense that in the comfort of your home or your house, you get to understand what is happening around the world through the social media. And then when you talk about the negative, it has also affected the journalism practice to some extent, because on social media, different platforms, you have Facebook, Twitter, and the rest of them, you get to understand that someone just like you can get up here, hear something, in town, and then you're good to go. You put it on social media and it's going already. So, talking about the negative effect of social media on journalism, no credibility, no source. We don't care to know where the source of the news or whether it is credible and all of that. So if you ask me, I think social media has affected journalism both positive and negative. Yes.
Thank you for that one. Do you think social media affect the traffic of media stations?
Social media affects traffic of media stations.
Tremendously. Just like I said when I was talking about the effect, like myself before now, we very unfortunate in Benue State here we have limited stations, broadcast stations, and even print media houses. That in the comfort of your home now, you don't need to go start looking for television, light, and all of that to access the media. Comfort of your home, you can use your phone. The only thing you need to do is charge your phone, and by that, people don't listen to radios, televisions, and the rest like before, or like the way they should, because of the social media. So if you ask me, on a personal level, I don't listen to television I don't view television like that like I do before. I don't listen to radio like I do before, because what I need to listen to radio or television to get or read paper, I get it on my phone or on social media. So if you ask me, I can say it has affected very well.
Definitely, I was trying to lay emphasis on the printed hard copies we sell. Most times, like the voice reader, sometimes in editions we produce about 1,000 copies to the newsstand, hard copies for sale. But you realize that at the end of the day, we sell roughly about 600. But in the same edition, the bulletin we dish out, you will see that on social media, more than 10,000 persons must have read that same bulletin. So in that case, it tells you clearly that people are more traffic, the social media aspect of it, than the hard copy newspaper.
I say my name is Obaji Samuel Abeni, the publisher of the Prime News magazine and newspaper, based in Benue State, Nigeria, West Africa. The event of the social media has done a lot of good, not only harm. People think Islam is good because it's easier work to disseminate information to the large community in the world. So it provides me average to expose my products to the world. Two, it makes me to educate society or public easily. Three, it expose my activities of the crime to the largest community. So after counting the game, they are also lost. Now, what we are referring to the challenge is now the traditional media newspaper is no longer marketable like before. Events like that, when the political have become, we have control of control the public, and people rely on us. With the event of the social media now, we cannot control the public again, because before you see a news, before a print media will bring a news, social media will disseminate the information out easily. So it affects the sale, it affects the market, it affects even the economy of the media, print media. So the effect is more. But by and large, there's more opportunity, because with the event of the social media now, you can go till online production. It also help you to disseminate your production easily, fast, because time is the most important thing of dissemination information. So with the internet, with the event of coming of the social media helps Prime, because we are planning now to go online instead of waiting till the reporter will bring, you do editing, you do late before you send it. So it's no longer there. What you need now, you employ online editor, immediately they know fit out to your news editors, send it online. So it's easy and it's more effective and it's timely. It saves costs. So it's helping us a lot.
Thank you so very much.
Yes.
Another question is, do you think social media affects traffic of media stations?
Not as such. It doesn't affect traffic at all. It depends on the person who is in charge of that thing. Because as I think, by and large, there is gain, there is disadvantage. Because if you bring somebody who is inexperienced or professional person, the story that you bring out of the listing will not. But if the person is not maybe computer clearance, it will cause a lot of problems because the news cannot be disseminated effectively. Sorry. And two, the person also who is not experienced by soldiering will cause a traffic because he will not send it easily, so we will not actually achieve what we want to achieve.
Social media have become a good influencer of citizen journalism. Audience or consumer of news can now generate content via social media, such as Facebook and Twitter especially. They usually use these sources to create content which are subject to verification and upload on personal sites, such as blog and weblog. As a communication tool, social media adopt blogging, microblogging, also known as status update service, which allow people to share short updates about people or events and to see updates created by others. For example, Yammer, Twitter, Google, Bose, etc. Social media aid location through Foursquare, Waka, etc. Social networking through Facebook, LinkedIn, and MySpace. As a collaboration tool, social media adopts conferencing, for example, Adobe Connect. These and among others are the various ways through which social media have assisted communication process in our world. It should be borne in mind that social media is a free market of choice where communication is bi-directional.
How do you think journalists can curb fake news winners on social media?
Well, if you ask me, it's beyond journalists right now because they don't make laws. There was a time they started talking about monitoring of social media by the government, which people were against it. But to some extent, I would say it is beyond journalists. But the only part they can play is we have some of these media houses who have platforms on social media. So the only thing they need to do is make sure that what others are carrying or what the social media handlers are giving out, which is not true, they should try as much as possible to let the people know on their platforms that this is actually what is happening. And by so doing, I think and I believe that it will go a long way to help. But like I said, I think it's beyond journalists to help fake news and all about social media.
Okay viewers, as you can see, social media have great impact on journalism practice in Nigeria. So don't go nowhere as the program continues, seen on BSU TV.
So how can journalists curb fake news menace on social media?
Yes, as I have told you before, it's still the same way. The only way you can curb fake news is when you censor stories from social media. That's number one. Number two, you must investigate, know the source of that news story. Number three, you must make your research. And number four, you must make sure that yes, the attribution is verified Unverified stories can lead media organizations to legal lawsuits, and it has led to many issues in the society today, where people have been branded negatively, where stations and organizations have been closed as a result of unverifiable news sources.
So as a trained reporter or a journalist, you will know where the story is fake. Because a good journalist will not just take anything from Facebook and start to put on his paper. He will verify, know the authenticity of that story. And when you do that, before you allow it to go on air or go on outside, I'm giving a fake news. So it's the duty of a journalist or reporter who want to go and verify to find out. We first of all call you. Is that in his school? If you call, you say yes, then you know that person who have supplied that information is not telling the truth. So as a good journalist or reporter, you should know what is called, you have nose for news, have genuine news. The most important thing you have to verify. You know, the social media, as I earlier said, they have good, sometimes I take news from social media, but I verify. It's time, I tell you, there are quick dissemination of information. If you want to, the social media can give you good things. So there is advantage more than disadvantage.
Yes, the issue of fake news is one of the issues that is so much affecting newspaper production this time. And one major aspect journalists can employ to curb this menace is by expansion of truthful news sources. For example, you are a blogger, you operate a blog, you are a social media influencer, the way they call it this time. You sat down in your room, most times they don't have proper verifiable facts on a story, but they dish them out and the public will quickly buy them. And then sometimes we too are also pushed into following such news and then using them. But if journalists can expand their truthful news sources, that is genuine news sources, sources that are established to be real. For example, if I want a news from Benue State University and I'm able to talk to the Vice Chancellor of BSU, I'm able to talk to the head of Department of Mass Communication, there is no way these two persons cannot tell me the truth. Even if they don't tell me all the truth, at least more than half of what they will give to me must definitely be the real thing. But if for some social media operators, they will just say a source from BSU said, who is the source? What is the source? Where did they get contact from them? So one of the major aspects journalists can employ to curb this is by expansion of truthful and genuine news sources. By so doing, I think a lot is going to put to rest on the side of fake news.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. And sir, lastly, how can journalists retain their reputations with the spread of social media?
No, there are so many ways to it. Of course, you agree with me that the reputation of journalists with the advent of social media has so much been battered. Like I said earlier, whoever has an Android phone becomes a journalist. Whoever can afford a Techno phone or Infinix or whatever calls himself a media person. It goes to tell you how obvious it has been these days. Before now, public office holders do not used to employ just people on the street to become their media managers. But today, if you are a commissioner, if you are a local government chairman, even a VC of a university, we just wake up one day and pick anything can hire and announce that this person has become my media assistant. Where has that person studied media? What journalism school has such a person attended? You cannot find such of these things. The only thing you will find is that the boss has the capability, the financial muscles to purchase an Android phone and hand over to them, whoever he feels can be snapping and posting on social media and do that. Then they could earn such a person. They will limit and then regulate their unfounded conduct in order to give the media generally
have come to the end of today's program and I hope you enjoyed it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for updates on our subsequent videos. I remain your favorite host, Ido Ali Sachanya. Thanks for watching.